this I'll go quickly on few functions. The key functions, Sumifs, Countif, probably most of already know. But Sumifs, I believe we don't use that often. That's my take, but that's fine. But before that, I just while going through this Sumif function, I just realized there are two wonderful functions in Excel that we have. So I'll quickly go into those two, and then I get into Countif and Sumifs. Okay. So this is a wonderful function in Excel. First would be choose. Okay. So what it does, right? So look at how it. So basically, for from an array, right? Let's say 4 or 5 options, it chooses one, right? Let me just toggle it here a bit. Let's say here 2, right? Keep looking at north being 1, south 2, east 3, and west 4. Now what happens, right? Of course, so you know the answer. Okay, south. So this is more on a static list, right? That we have done it. That could be, key in some cases. One way I look at, but let's get into dynamic first. The second option I see is just generating a random number. I chose this to prepare this data set that I have. The reason to go getting into this first, then I can explain what exactly. This probably, if you're a good user of Excel, user in terms of usage rather, so you'll know this, right? So it's very simple. So you give a range here, uh, the bottom and the top, and then you just and it generates a number bit. For example, let's say maybe 20. So it won't generate anything till 20, right? It's between, right? It's top and bottom. So there's a range. So anything like that, okay? And this is choose out of a list. You choose that. Why is important? The first one I'll get into again. So this one I use to just prepare this data sheet. I believe in some cases, you're working on some analytics, maybe R, Python or something. This is useful in case you're just preparing a data sheet. So I'll go one by one. Okay. Now look, sir. So what I say is random between 1 to 4. So I'm saying choose anything. Okay, 1 to 4, right? This is north, south, east, 4. And I'm saying choose anyone. So what happens? It dynamically chooses any of the value between 1 and 4. Yeah? That's top to bottom. So that is 1 and 4. 4 both are inclusive. Yeah. So north, south, east, west. Yeah. Yeah. That's correct. So 1 north to south, and that's the region we have got the entire list. Look at that. Right? So it picks automatically and it generates, then it chooses what? It will choose 2 comma then south. For example, this is north. It must have chosen what? The first one. Random between I must given a 1 as a parameter, then the choose. So let's go again, right? So this is where we are playing with the random in between. That gives me a value from 1 to 4, and it then chooses the exact number. Similarly, again I have done the same thing. 1 to 5, right? There are 5, you can have 6, 7, and then you choose the random between. Then again you just choose on top of that to generate this list. Okay. This one you already know. So it's a number between 300, 1900, and you see that. What I'll do now, because the dynamically my function won't work the way I want to. So what I'll do, I'll just copy paste uh, in terms of exclude value, just for the sake. But largely you got my point. Yeah. Yeah. Copy, and then I will do. I'll just paste on values. Yeah. That way it's now become a list. No longer we have that formula. This is required. Otherwise, the formula might change dynamically based on that. The count if the name suggests, right? Count if it matches certain criteria, and then so now we're looking at these column D, right? I can just put 1420. Yeah, 1420. Yeah, one. Let me just look at that 1420, and they see if this works or not. So this works, right? Let's say if I put something greater than 1500, how to do that? You can just go to the list that I have here at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, but for the time being, just let me just have this greater than sign. Yeah, 9. How do we know it's correct or not? 1400. Let me put maybe 1500. That will be easier to verify. Yeah, 1500 we have 7. Largely looks 1, and then 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that matches. What it does, look at the formula. From a range, based on a criteria, for criteria list, you can look at the bottom table that I've created. You can that put that way, whatever is your requirement, and it just count it. Yeah, count a separate thing you probably know. Similarly, so this is very simple function. You can also play on this one, right? You can't do salesperson, right? You can just change the range here. Example, let's say this one, yeah, it's a range. And then what you do here, we just say give a name, maybe equal to whom we want to do it, Jack. Let's see what happens. Jack, yeah. Let's see how much, 5. So is it 5? You can see that 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. Fair enough. So that way you can also play on the text, right? The sum if probably most of guys know, but it just works similar to the one we discussed. So again, give a range, and then it will just like a count, it will do the sum now. Okay. So the right hand side, this part, you can just play around the way I did it for the counting. And pick a, of course, sum is number. The column has to be a number, right? Yeah, or something in numeric in nature, so you can just compute. This is probably we thought of, no, multiple criteria. So how we do it? Yeah, let's see what you say. Sumifs, what it is? Sum range. It clearly says it want to sum what? In this case, the only column that you have a number, right? That's the column D, sales, D22 to 21. Then we have two criteria. What are you saying? B2 to 21. That's east. Yeah. And then the second criteria. So this is the range and this criteria. This is the range and this criteria. That way you can put multiple criteria, right? Since I have 3 columns, yeah. Maybe just add in one more here. Make it make it interesting. Yeah. What we'll do now? We say here one more criteria here would be greater than what? Maybe less than 400, 500. Let's see that way. So it will be less than. Then it's a 500, and then C. So D22 we put one more criteria here. 21 less than 500. Yeah. So how much we have at the moment? I should 2, 3. So see how much comes. So there is no criteria that matches everything. Okay. Why didn't match? Let's see that. Because we had around 3 numbers that were less than 500, but the region was south, or the salesperson was mark in one case is no bird. What we'll do, since we know now, just manipulate a bit, make it south here, yeah. Then we know what happens, yeah. South for sure, yeah. Let's see now what happens. Again, it's a 0. South matches for one of the range here, but let me put here mark. Then we know at least we'll get 1 for sure. Mark, let me make it caps here for just 440. Here we go, right? So with this criteria that we had, what we did, south, and then mark, and then less than 500, there's only one value, and that's why this, yeah. Yes, that's how it works. So I know that this scenario may not be required in most of the cases, but maybe in some cases the target was to show the variance of these sumifs and how we can play it out. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.